So the Michael biopic only has 13 tracks that's featured in the film, and I got a problem with that. Now, I know this isn't necessarily a new topic, but I haven't talked about it yet because I haven't really paid attention to it. But since the movie's coming out now, and you got some people saying it's a great movie, best biopic ever, this kind of stuff, I take all that with a grain of salt. Of course, I want it to be the best biopic ever, and I want it to be an amazing movie in general, but I'm also looking at things in a realistic perspective. But as far as the Michael biopic only having 13 tracks, I got an issue with that. So the tracks featured on the movie apparently is I'll Be There, Never Can Say Goodbye, Who's Loving You, the Jackson 5 melody, If I Want You Back, ABC, Love You Save, Ben, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Beat It, Thriller, Billie Jean, Wanna Be Starting Something, Human Nature, Working Day and Night, and Bad. Okay, so here's the whole thing, how I'm looking at it. This is a biopic about Michael Jackson. Obviously he had his start with the Jackson 5, growing up in Gary, Indiana with his family, all that kind of stuff. So obviously the Jackson 5 days can't be just skipped over. I don't have a problem with that, right? I feel like as far as to get a more complete Jackson 5 experience, the Jackson's American Dream is the perfect movie for that, because that was a Jackson's movie, not a Michael Jackson movie. This being a Michael movie has more reign to be able to cover Michael, to cover his individual achievements and goals and ups and downs and things like that. Obviously you start off with the Jackson 5 stuff or whatever, but then you're able to pivot and you get into his solo stuff. So I would say there are some Jackson 5 or Jackson's era songs that I kind of wish were there, but that's aside the point. If we talk about his solo career, which I feel like is going to be the bulk of what the movie is, I'm disappointed with the fact that you only get 8 solo tracks from Michael in this part. And again, there's still people thinking that, oh, this movie is going to be all of his life or most of his life, and no. Right? So the people who are misinformed, still after all this information, the trailers and everything, making it pretty clear that this does not go beyond the 80s. My problem with this is that there should be more of the Michael, Quincy Jones trilogy album of songs featured in this, right? As far as Off the Wall, you only get Don't Stop Till You Get Enough and Working Day and Night. And those amazing songs, Why Rock With You wasn't chosen, Off the Wall, the actual song with the title of the album. Then you got Thriller. Obviously Thriller probably would have the most. You got Human Nature, Wanna Be Starting Something, Billie Jean, Thriller, and Beat It, And that's cool, because that's all the heavy hitters and the most important songs of that album, even though the entire album is fire, but you get the point. But then my biggest issue is that Bad is only Bad. You could say it ends with Bad, and it does. I'm assuming obviously it's gonna end with him, on stage performing Bad before the movie cuts. And I can imagine, I would hope that because Bad only gets really just that the second part is to be, made and put out there and everything, that you at least cover more of the Bad era and stuff like that before we get to, the 90s and the hardships that he went through and stuff. But I just feel like just having Bad is kind of crazy, because the Way You Make Me Feel, Smooth Criminal, Dirty Diana. I mean, it's like Bad was a bang-ass album, but this isn't about the albums per se. It's just, I just feel like 13 songs is not enough, because I have the Jackson's American Dream, the little DVD of the miniseries or whatever, and if I'm not mistaken, it said it had 30 songs or something, including some solo Michael songs, but it had a good handful of Jackson songs. if I'm not mistaken, I think some of those songs wasn't necessarily Jackson 5 songs, but I'd have to double look. But that aside, like, it should have been more featured on this album. But more featured on this movie. But aside from that, of course, I'm still excited for this movie. From what I've seen from trailers and things like that, Jafar, you know what I'm saying, is doing a damn good job. Coleman Domingo doing a damn good job. That's the most of what you see is those two. So as far as like how good Nia Long was as Catherine and so on and so forth has yet to be seen. But as far as like the two biggest figures in the movie that it's following about their dynamics and things like that, Michael and Joe Jackson, I'd say they did a damn good job. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Are y'all disappointed, or is there certain songs from these albums of the era that you would have hoped to see in the movie? And are you not surprised with the amount of songs on this movie, or are you indifferent? Y'all let me know. But with that, we're gonna leave it there.